Okay, I think we're recording. So happy Monday, everybody. July 9th. We're a full week into July, which is exciting and scary and crazy all at the same time. I'm super, super excited for tonight's team call, and I'll tell you why in just a second whenever I introduce our guest speaker. But I have just a couple announcements that I want to go over really quickly. All of these were kind of mentioned and talked about this morning on the National Wake Up Call, which if you have not listened back to the recording yet, or if you didn't catch it live, I want to encourage you to do so because it was super awesome. But the first announcement is that today, like right now, is the last day to get that $130 summit ticket. So July 9th today, last day, FAQ 9713. If you have not purchased your ticket for summit next year, do so today. This is the lowest price that you will have the opportunity to get that Coach Summit ticket for. Don't worry about the details. We'll get all of that worked out. Just commit to being at Summit a year from now, and that all starts with you purchasing your ticket. So if you have questions, be sure to post on our team page, get those questions answered, get your ticket bought today. The second announcement is the Beat Your Best promotion that is going on this month during the month of July, FAQ 2775. Be sure to check that out. It's essentially all about beating your personal best when it comes to earning Success Club points and getting your personally sponsored coaches into Success Club. So some super fun kind of prizes and incentives there. The third announcement is that Lift 4 and Mes de Mas VIP Early Access officially launches this coming Monday, July 16th, FAQ 7500 and 5222. And then the last is the Shakeology news that was announced at Super Saturday. We talked about this a little bit right after Summit, how they're launching the pumpkin spice flavors here in the US. They announced that they're going to be launching that flavor in Canada. So for all of you pumpkin spice fans, there you go. One that I didn't have written down that just kind of popped in my mind is that if you hit Success Club during the month of June, that Rachel Hollis webcast is actually going to be tomorrow. So be sure that you've checked your email and that you're prepared for that. Okay, so let's get right into the goodness of this call and why you all are here. I'm so excited for this call, and Amanda doesn't even know some of this that I'm about to share, so it'll be music to her ears too. But I actually found Amanda. She did a live video in the Beachbody Champions page. I'm pretty sure it was when they were doing like a Success Club promotion thing, and you had gotten like one of the top Success Club points during that month, and so they asked you to hop in there and do a little live video. And then I started following you, and I realized that we had so much in common. You were a full-time grad student. I was a full-time grad student, and whenever I started following Amanda, it was the first time that I really kind of like kicked myself in the rear, if you will, as to stop utilizing the excuses that, oh, I'm in grad school and I work full-time, and these other successful coaches, like, they don't have those things going on, so they don't get it. It must be easy for them. And I started following Amanda, and I saw all the success that she was having with everything that she had going on. And I know on our little graphic for our team call tonight, I put Amanda McGuire, but she actually just got married. Honestly, McGuire's a lot easier for me to say than your new last name, and I didn't want to get it wrong, so I just left that there. But she just moved across the country. She finished grad school, got married, and is still like crushing it in her business. She's a 2-star diamond, Success Club 10 all-star. She's ranked number 39 in the entire network. So it is honestly a true honor, and I'm so grateful that she's agreed to do this team call. And honestly, I feel like just because of my personal experience with following her journey, she could literally just tell us her story and her journey with coaching, and we would all leave here better coaches, even without going into specific content. So I'm going to go on ahead and pass it over to Amanda. If you guys have questions along the way, be sure to pop them over into the chat, and we will get those answered afterwards.
Yay! Thank you. That was a really nice welcome. Thank you guys for having me tonight. I'm so excited to be here. So I'm just going to briefly touch on my story, and then I'm going to kind of talk, I guess the topic for tonight is prioritizing your time, and then just some of my top business tips as a coach. So as was mentioned, I used to work at General Mills. I worked in marketing there for just under 3 years. I was going to school for full-time grad school for my MBA. I was in a long-distance relationship. My fiance was in PT school up north, about 3 hours north of where I was living. And then I was working a part-time job and coaching. So I had a full plate, and I'm going to say first and foremost, I signed up to be just a discount coach. It's kind of like a running group with like my coaching family now, but I wanted nothing to do with working the business. I had no interest in it. I was already working full time, and my plan was to move the corporate ladder at General Mills, hence why I was in business school for my MBA. So working the coaching business just wasn't really like in my plan, but sometimes our plans don't work out and they change. So I signed up for the discount, did 21-day fix extreme, got rockin' results, and just posted my results just to show people because I was really proud of them. And I had so many friends and family reach out, and they were like, what are you doing? How did you get those results in 21 days and 30 minutes? And like just asking, questions about it. And so a bunch of people ended up signing up with me. So I kind of dabbled over to like the hobby side of it, just to help some friends and family. And then I just started sharing my journey for my own accountability, not to grow a business, not to grow a team, not for any other reason, but for me to like post my sweaty selfie and show other people how possible this lifestyle was. These short workouts, you could do them from anywhere, easy to follow meal plan, those types of things that we all know about with Beachbody workouts and the meal plans. And then my now husband, Zeke, was like, do you realize how happy you are when you talk about coaching? And I'm like, yeah, I guess it makes me happy, and he's like, you should do it full time. And I'm like, no, I have no interest in doing that, but thanks. That's a great idea, but I'm not interested in doing that. And then, as I was still working full time, and I just kept like going with the business. And again, I had no intentions on growing it at first into anything, but it just kind of happened. I kept sharing my journey, kept sharing my story. And one of my tips, which I'm going to get into, is just being so raw and real. Instagram is such a cool platform where you can meet so many amazing people, and it's crazy how many people can actually relate to you when you show your true self. It's a highlight reel. It truly is. So we can share our best of the best. I posted a transformation photo yesterday. It's not a great, it's a day zero photo. I just got married. I had my birthday. I had the Mexico trip with Beachbody. I had my bachelorette party. All of these things, just did a 5-day road trip with my dad from Minnesota to California. Like, life has been crazy, and I have been crushing my workouts, but my diet has been the worst. So I posted my picture last night, and it was not easy. I think people are like, oh, it's easy for you to post. It's easy for you to do this, but it's really not. Like, posting a picture where I'm not in that great a shape as a Beachbody coach isn't really easy. But the messages that I got from people thanking me for being real and raw for posting that last night, it made it all worth it. We all start somewhere. We all fall off the wagon. And just the best part is that we have this community and these workouts to get back on track. So just really sharing my raw, real journey really helped me to grow a business. So getting into this whole prioritizing your time thing, I preach this to my team over and over and over again, that this business is hard work. There's no doubt about it. There's no easy way out. You don't just wake up and get to be a full-time Beachbody coach making 6 figures or whatever your goal is with Beachbody. It takes hard work and dedication and consistency. And I always say that if you want something bad enough, you'll find a way to do it. If you don't, you'll find an excuse. I'm sure you've heard that before. It's cliche, but it's so true. It is so easy to pile on excuses. And coming from me, working full-time, going to grad school in a long-distance relationship, working part-time and coaching, like, yeah, your girl here could have had any excuse under the sun to not do it. But it brought me so much happiness and like passion and joy back in my life to be getting these results and building these relationships and helping women get back on track with their health and fitness, that for me, I always found that time. And a lot of it was getting up early. I am a morning person. If you follow me on Instagram, you will see that like my mornings are my jam. And like if I could go to bed at 7 o'clock every night, that would be ideal for me. Going to bed at 7 o'clock, waking up at 3:30 is like my dream world. But that doesn't always happen. But now that I'm in a different time zone, I've been kind of slowly getting back into the early mornings. But when I was working full-time at General Mills, I'm sure a lot of you are either students or working full-time or part-time, or I'm sure you have something apart from coaching. And it's so easy to find those excuses like, oh, I'm busy, I have this going on, I'll do it tomorrow. But truthfully, you guys, we all have our own busy. And no matter what, you're always going to be busy. There's always going to be something going on in your life that is going to make it seem not easy to work this coaching business. That's the same for everybody though. Like, we can all come up with a million excuses to not do something, but if you have the one reason why you're going to do it or why you're going to show up, you're going to do it. And your excuses will go out the wayside if you have that one driving why or that driving force to keep doing it. So when I was working at General Mills, I was getting up at about 3:15 in the morning. And I didn't really even tell people that, because people like looked at me like I was crazy. They're like, that's not even morning, 3:15. And debatable. It really isn't morning. That's pretty early. But so I was getting up at like 3:15 in the morning so that I could answer emails, read some personal development, get my workout in before work, because I had grad school in the nights and I'm just not a night workout person. So I knew if I didn't do it in the morning, I wasn't going to do it at all. So I get all those things done. I hopped on a thing. Our team, it's called the Miracle Morning. I'm not sure if you guys do something like that, but it is amazing. So basically it's a Zoom call just like this. And there's a designated host every single morning. It kind of starts East Coast and moves over West Coast throughout the morning. But basically our East Coasters start it at 5 a.m. Eastern time. We have this ongoing Zoom link just like this. Every single person, it's a reoccurring link. So it's Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. Eastern time until I usually pick it up, and I do it for a couple hours just because there's some stragglers at the end. But basically we all get on, we have our cameras on, we mute ourselves, and we work our business, we get our workout in, we're all doing our own thing, but it's just having that extra accountability and that extra push, like, oh, there are 6 other girls working out. Nobody's watching me work out. Nobody's like judging what I'm doing, but it's just me having that extra accountability. Like, oh, there's 4 girls working out and there's 6 girls working their business. I'm not at this alone right now. I got a few other girls on here with me. And, some days there's 50 of us, some days there's 10 of us. Like, it just totally depends, but it's our whole upline. So my upline, and then we all kind of share the link. So there's a lot of people that have the opportunity to hop on, but it's just so motivating. And for me, that's what gets me up in the morning, because I want to be a part of that Miracle Morning. If you guys have read the book Miracle Morning, like kind of like taking back your mornings, or like the 5-second rule, I usually recommend those to my coaches right away when they get started, because it's so true in the sense of taking back your morning. And you know what? It might be the night for you. You might need to work your business in the night and get your workouts in the night, depending on what type of schedule you have. But just finding that time for you that works in your day to get your business done. There's a lot of things too that we don't necessarily like to do. Like, I love making graphics. I love reaching out to girls in my accountability boot camps and following up with my coaches and checking in. I hate reaching out to people. Like, I don't actually truly know anybody that legit loves reaching out to people, but it's part of the business. It's what we need to do. We need to be building relationships. We need to be inviting people to this opportunity, because it's truly selfish if we don't. That's what I've been telling my girls. Like, if they're nervous to reach out to people, I'm like, you know what? You owe it to every single person that you know to reach out and tell them about this opportunity. Maybe it's not right now for them. Maybe it's a no. Maybe it's a yes. You'll never know if you don't ask. So presenting this opportunity to everyone and their moms is my motto. And what I try to teach my girls, my coaches under me that are looking to build a business. But truly sharing this opportunity with everybody it's the way to go. And the answer is always no if you don't ask. But it's not fun to reach out to people. It just truly isn't. So I always get my reach outs done in the morning. And I always tell my coaches too, whatever you don't like to do, get that done first. I have so many coaches that are like, oh, I wanted to reach out to 30 people today, but I got my workout in, and then I read some PD, and then I had to go to work, and then I'm going to do it after work, but I got tired, so I'll just do it tomorrow. Well, tomorrow, then you already missed out on all those people today, and you're not going to be able, 60 reach outs tomorrow to make up for the ones you missed yesterday and the ones you did today. It's just so hard to get back on track once you fall off so many days. So I always tell my girls, wake up, do the thing that you don't like to do the most first. Maybe you dread doing your workout right now for whatever reason. Get your workout done first. Maybe you hate reaching out to people. Reach out to people first. Just do whatever you hate doing most first. Get it done so that everything else you can kind of look forward to. So the biggest thing for me was losing my excuses, taking back my mornings. Obviously now I am a full-time coach, so my day looks completely different, but I don't have any full-time coaches on my team. So I talk to all of my team like I was just in January. I was still working at General Mills. So I know that everybody is in different places right now with their business and their life, but truly, if you guys want to make this into a business, if you want to grow a team, if you want to do this full time, maybe you want to pay your student loans with this coaching money. Maybe you are a mom and you want to be a stay-at-home mom. Maybe you hate your corporate job and you want to quit there. Like whatever your why is, like have that be your driving force to really push you to show up every day. And have you guys read the 10X rule? Anybody? Okay. That book is like my favorite. I've listened to it 3 times now on Audible, and I just love the concept of it and the idea of it. Like if you want to grow a business super fast, you need to do more of what you're doing now. So if you're reaching out to 10 people a day, in order to grow your business faster, you have to reach out to 50 people a day. You have to like literally 10x your efforts. I mean, reaching out to 100 people a day, that it's possible, I'm sure, but that's a lot of people. But just like 10xing everything that you're doing to get to your goal faster. Obviously, it takes time to grow a business, and everybody grows it at their own pace. But the 10x rule really like motivated me when I was working at General Mills to like find any downtime that I had, like, you know, power pockets, they say. People do power hours, people do power pockets. When I was at General Mills, it's such a massive campus that I'd be like walking in between meetings, and I'd be like following up with people, reaching out, inviting 3 people to my next boot camp, reaching out and sending the link to 3 girls to my coach sneak peek. Like I was just constantly finding like any little bit of time in my day during work to work my coaching business because it made me so happy. So the 10X rule, you know, finding your why, it's all things that Beachbody has already told us. And that's the beauty of this company, in my opinion, is there's no hidden secrets. Like Melanie Mitchell being the top coach for 4 or 5 years now, there's no secret to that because she literally does podcasts on how she does it. She tells us everything that she does. She shows us her calendars that she makes. She shows us how she reaches out to people. She lets us in on like little sneak peeks of what her and her team are doing. Like there's truly no secret to this business, and like the vital behaviors, they're legit. Like do your reach outs, be the proof of the product, cheer on your challengers and coaches, like do all those things and maybe more of them, and you guys are going to be successful with this business. Trying to think. Oh, one other thing that I wanted to say before I go into some top tips is on one of our team calls last Monday, we had a girl who she hit diamond in like a month. And she had just kind of this like awesome mindset as far as like consistency and showing up on Instagram. And she was saying that like thinking of your Instagram page as your storefront in the sense of, so she used it, she's a yogi, so she used it as an example of if she was going to open up a yoga studio, she finds the perfect space. She is a yoga teacher, so she was going to be running her own classes. If she wanted to be successful, she wouldn't just sit in her yoga studio twiddling her thumbs, waiting for people to come to her yoga class, like hoping that they would walk down the street of her yoga studio and they would be yogis and they would want to join. Like if she were to do that, she probably wouldn't make the rent every month if she just waited for people to join her. That's the same with Beachbody. Like your Instagram feed is your storefront. And if you aren't showing up every single day, multiple times a day, I tell my girls at least 2 to 4 times a day, you should be showing up on Instagram. If you aren't, then you're really not opening your storefront. Like if you're a boutique and you have like nothing in your store or you never show up there, people aren't going to come buy stuff from you. Same with the yoga class. So using your Instagram feed as your storefront, showing them who you are. Your sweaty selfies, people don't get sick of those. I've posted a sweaty selfie every day for like 2 years now, and I still get a ton of likes on my sweaty selfie. And it's just the fact that like people sign up with me because they know that I'm going to be there for them. I've been doing this for over 2 years now, and I'm not going anywhere. I get amazing results from these programs. I'm so happy in my life. I was able to quit my corporate job. Yeah, I have my ups and downs. Everybody does. And sharing that side of it too. The whole real and raw aspect is what people want. People want to relate to you. They want to know that you are showing up for yourself every day, because if you're showing up for you, you're going to show up for them. But if you work out on like Tuesday and then you post a sweaty selfie again on Saturday and then maybe again on Monday, that's not showing them that you're going to show up for them. Because if you can't even show up on your storefront that you own and you run, why would they want to sign up as a coach with you or a challenger with you? And that's what I always think. Like, I always analyze my Instagram page and I'm like, do I have a transformation photo in my first block? Am I talking about coaching at least once a day? Yes. Am I posting pictures of like food that I'm eating and trips that I'm going on and just everything? I mean, people love seeing Zeke. I honestly tell Zeke every single day, my husband, that he has to be in pictures of me because Instagram likes him maybe more than me. But just like really sharing your life with people. And I know that it's not always easy to share the good, the bad, and the ugly, but people, it's pretty crazy, amazing, like how people will reach out to you and like relate to you on different levels. One thing that I like to tell a story of, which is like kind of gross and weird, but I had to have a colonoscopy last year. Who would post about a colonoscopy on Instagram? Probably not a lot of people. But you guys, do you know how many people have had colonoscopies? So many. I got like 85 messages in like 2 minutes from women that were like, oh my gosh, I had a colonoscopy too. I've had like 3 now. The process really sucks. I had a colonoscopy 2 years ago. But I mean, I'm like, holy crap. All of you had colonoscopies. I'm sure there's like thousands more. But like just talking about literally anything real and raw, people will relate to you and they want to see that side of you. So that is one of my biggest tips actually, is like sharing it all. Sharing who you are. I know, again, it's not always easy, but people want to be able to relate with you, and nobody's perfect. So if you are showing up every single day with like your hair and makeup done and you're posting like the perfect flex photo with your abs perfect and you're only eating healthy food and you never have any off days and life is great, boring, like who seriously wants to sign up with somebody whose life is perfect, but we know it's not, because nobody's life is perfect. So you're obviously not sharing some of it if that's what you're doing every single day. So that is one of my biggest tips, is being raw, being consistent, showing up at your quote unquote storefront every single day, and just really taking people on this journey with you. Instagram stories, if you guys don't use them yet, that is where it's at. I get 95% of my challengers and coaches from Instagram stories. People love to see that I'm super upbeat, and that I think people love to actually see like how we talk, which kind of sounds weird, but like in a picture, you can't really tell like a person's personality. But me, I like always use my hands and I'm super bubbly and I love to smile and I think everything's funny, so I laugh a lot. So people can relate to that, and I think that it really like gives them a good feel for like who I am as a person. Yeah, pictures do that as well. But when they can really get to like hear you and your excitement for this business and your excitement for your results and just life, I think people really like to hear that. So I use Instagram stories a lot. I invite people to my coaching sneak peeks on Instagram stories. I post about the Lift 4 launch for July 16th on that. I use Canva a lot. So I don't know if you guys follow me on Instagram, but you'll see like in my stories that I have like these like blocked out story pictures of like the transformation and kind of like hyping up Lift 4. I make those all on Canva and then I just email them to myself. It's because it's easier for me to do. I think some people use like Word Swag or maybe Canva on your phone, but I'm so much faster on my desktop. So we just quick make them up on Canva and just email them to myself. But I've just gotten a lot of engagement with that from people. I don't get engagement on polls anymore. I know a lot of girls in my team that do. I don't know why people don't like my polls, so I don't use polls anymore, but polls are great if you aren't using them. Like Instagram is giving us all the resources that we need to be successful, and we just need to use them and utilize the tools that they're giving us. So Instagram stories, if you guys aren't using them, I highly recommend that you do. And then I kind of mentioned this before, but it's truly just selfish for us to not invite to this opportunity. One story that I've been sharing a lot lately, because it's been like a huge like game changer for me. So my corporate mentor, Sydney, actually led a call for my pushers group last week. And she shared this story that when she got recruited to work at Beachbody Corporate, she hadn't really known a lot about Beachbody. She had done like the Brazilian butt lift or some random thing that she got from a friend, but she didn't know anything about the Beachbody community or like the network that we talk about, just basically like the community of men and women that are also doing these workouts and the whole coach thing. Like she had no idea of any of that. So she ended up, loving the whole corporate aspect. So she got hired on as a corporate mentor. And then she decided to go through her Facebook friend list. And she decided to see if she knew anybody that was a Beachbody coach. And she came across one girl, it was her college roommate, and Sydney messaged her and was like, hey, I see that you're a Beachbody coach. And the girl was like, yeah. And Sydney's like, can I ask you a question? And the girl was like, yeah, sure. And I don't know if you guys know Sydney Webb at all, but she is like a blonde bombshell. She's just so adorable, just super cute, really fit in shape. I guess before Beachbody, she worked in mortgage. So she asked this girl, she's like, why did you never invite me to the Beachbody opportunity? Why didn't you ever invite me to a coach sneak peek? Or why didn't you invite me to a challenge group? And the girl was like, Sydney, why would I? And Sydney was like seriously downright offended. And like, I still think that she's offended today because she like tells this story with a lot of passion. But Sydney's like, what do you mean, why not? And the girl's like, Sydney, you and your husband go on your boat like every weekend. You love your job. You're super fit. Like, you're beautiful. You're happy. And Sydney was like, are you kidding me? First off, I hate my job in mortgage. Second off, I'm not confident in my skin. I've struggled with eating disorders and food issues throughout my whole life. So I have terrible body image. So this girl prejudged Sydney and was like, you know what? She has all of her stuff together, so she would not want this opportunity. And seriously, like, shame on her, because it's not fair for us to make up other people's minds for them. And I'm guilty of this. My friend Laura, this just happened 3 weeks ago. My friend Laura, she has 3 daughters. She's a stay-at-home mom. I assumed that because she's a stay-at-home mom and she has 3 daughters and they're on one income, that she could not afford Beachbody. Amanda, that is so rude. I do not have the right to say that about Laura. Well, come to know, about 2 weeks ago, I see on Instagram, she's a Beachbody coach under one of our friends from high school, because our friend reached out to her and invited her. So she's not on my team because I prejudged the situation. I decided that Laura did not want to do it because she didn't have the funds for it. And now she's a coach on a different team. So again, shame on me. And that was a huge eye-opener for me. Like, I went through my friends on my Facebook list and I have been blowing up Team Miranda and like just saying like, hey, I have this amazing coaching opportunity. I did not get this opportunity right away. I had to go out and seek it. Like, I just found my coach Amy Rada on Instagram through a friend, but I've just been telling everybody about coaching. I've been telling everybody about the Lift 4, and it is crazy how many people have been like receptive to me telling them about it. Have they all said yes? No, but they all haven't said no either. I think I've signed up like 12 women just this past week to do the Lift 4 launch that are in my warm market that I'd prejudged before. So that is like my biggest tip for myself and my girls and for you guys is like, don't prejudge somebody just because you think that they wouldn't be interested in Beachbody. Give everybody the opportunity, present it to them, and let them decide. They can say yes, they can ghost you, or they can say no. Those are the 3 options that they have. And if they say no, I take it as a not right now. If they ghost you, I follow up in like a week. And if they say yes, then hell yeah, we got some success club points. So that is kind of my spiel. I think that's what I have for you guys for like my top tips.
Awesome. I have one question. Nobody has posted any questions in the chat. So while you're answering this one, maybe we'll get a couple. But you mentioned early on that it was actually Zeke, your now husband, who kind of came up with this idea of you doing coaching full time. So I am kind of in the same situation as far as spouse support is concerned. My husband is like I came home from Summit last year and I was like, I'm quitting my job in 6 months. Like, just watch me work. And he was like, okay, like I'll do whatever I can. But a lot of girls on our team maybe aren't experiencing that as far as spouse support is concerned. So do you have kind of any advice? I know maybe not from personal experience, but just maybe with some coaches on your team, how can they kind of still push forward with their business goals when maybe they don't have that kind of support?
Yeah, I'm always truly mind boggled when spouses and significant others do not support this community, this coaching opportunity, these workouts. But I have a lot of girls on my team whose significant others are not supportive. And truly what I say to them is focus on your journey right now. Like, keep doing you and keep doing this, because sooner or later, what you're doing is going to rub off on them, in the sense of if you're getting amazing results, you're feeling great, you're feeling confident, you have all this energy that you didn't have before, you're bringing in an additional income, whether that is $300 a month or $3,000 a month or less or more, whatever it is, it's an additional income, and you're getting that by doing what you love and helping people. So yeah, you can explain it, why you're doing this to your spouse or your significant other or your friends or your family until you're blue in the face. But if they don't support you right away, they will at some point. Just keep doing what you're doing. My parents were like against me quitting General Mills. Like, no, you work at an amazing Fortune 500 company. You just got your MBA. Like, you're not quitting this job to do coaching, Amanda. Coaching. And then they started seeing my paychecks. And then they started seeing my paychecks grow and grow and grow week after week, month after month. And my dad literally just a couple weeks ago was like, okay, fine. I think what you did was a smart idea. And I'm like, great. I clearly didn't wait for your approval for that. But I think truly the biggest thing is just like, now my family sees how happy this makes me and that I am able to do this full time, and like, just talk about it, share what you're doing, and just take them along for the ride. And I truly think that like they will have a change of heart. It might just take time. And like for me, I'm going to say this is on recording, but I was a Beachbody basher for a while. Before I started Beachbody, I was a Beachbody basher hardcore. A family friend of ours, Amber Kuiper, she's super successful in this company. I would like watch her and I'm like, why is she posting every single day? Why is she doing this? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like bashing it to Zeke, hardcore actually. And then I was like, I think I'm going to do Beachbody. He's like, okay, basher. But I was a basher myself. And like, until you really get to like, you get into this and you experience it, it's so life-changing, and people around me can see how happy it makes me, and like I'm in better shape now. I'm doing better now than ever before, not just from a financial aspect, but like from a overall confidence, energy, life in general. So people will see that. So just keep doing what you're doing. Don't let people like get you down, or like don't feel defeated by it. Just keep doing what you're doing, because eventually people will tell how happy it makes you. One other thing too, like Amber Kuiper, who I was just talking about, do you know her at all, Beth? Okay. Her husband was like, you are not, and Melanie Mitchell too, her husband was like, you're not buying a challenge pack. Like, we don't have money for that. You are going to work and we're going to send our kids to daycare. I always kind of laugh because I'm like, I really want to know what, I always forget Melanie's husband's name, but I want to know what he's saying now, because I hope to God he kicks himself every single time she like gets paid, because I think that he stays home with her now and like works coaching full time. But like if I was him and I was like, nope, you're not doing this, and she's making millions now, I'd be like, dang, I'm so sorry. Thanks for going against what I said. So that's kind of like my word of advice, is like a lot of the top coaches did not have spouse support when they started, but look at them now. So keep doing what you're doing. Keep getting results, keep sharing this opportunity with people, and it will eventually ripple and spread to them.
Awesome. We have one more question, and then we will let you go. So Nicole is saying, I'm just starting out. I've tapped into a lot of people I'm guessing that she knows, and have had good conversations with a lot of not right nows. Do you reach out to random people, or do I just focus on being consistent and persistent on social media to see if the interest comes along? I don't wait very well.
Do not wait, girlfriend. I am reaching out to strangers every single day. Right now, the biggest thing that's working for me is like in the little magnifying section, the search bar on Instagram under locations. That has been like a game changer for me. I just moved to Northern California, so I don't know anybody here, but I have met some cool chicks, and I've actually signed up 2 girls to do Beachbody because I reached out to them. So my husband and I just went to the Redwoods, and we did, gosh, I can never think of the name of, Avenue of the Giants. Avenue of the Giants last weekend. And I had never heard of that before, never been there, but I decided to search Avenue of the Giants on Instagram under the locations, under the magnifying glass. And there were so many girls that looked my age that I thought looked super cool that I'd probably want to be friends with. So basically, I reach out to people on Instagram that I think are cool or would be cool or that I would want to be friends with. And how I judge that is based off of what they post. So but basically I just found a bunch of women that looked around my age, and I saw that they were at the Avenue of the Giants, and I reached out to them, not Beachbody related though. Like I always tell my girls, it doesn't necessarily, it sounds really salesy if you lead with like, hey, I'm a Beachbody coach. Do you want to join my challenge group? No, don't do that. Don't do that. That's like a no-no. And I think like a lot of companies like It Works and stuff, I get those every day. Hey girl, you'd be a great rep for It Works. I'm like, did you even look at my Instagram profile? I am a Beachbody coach, clearly. But so really taking time to like go through people's Instagram feeds, strangers who I don't know, who I find on Instagram, hashtags, locations. So like I said, right now, Avenue of the Giants. Found a girl that looked really cool. She's about my age. I reached out to her and I was like, hey, I just saw that you were at the Avenue of the Giants. I was there this weekend with my husband. We actually just moved to the area. Do you live in Northern California too? Kind of left that. Decided to go through her feed. So my newest thing is getting lost on Instagram, intentionally lost though, not just like scrolling to scroll. So I found this girl who I reached out to, I sent that message to. Then I went and I liked like two other of her pictures. And then I saw another group photo of girls. There were like 6 girls. It was her and her girlfriends. They were like camping. Clicked on that picture. She tagged her friends, so I clicked on one of her friends who looked kind of cool, or who I thought would be cool. So clicked on her and then went to her profile, and I was like, oh, dang, this girl is like all about fitness. I don't think she's Beachbody coach. She didn't post anything about like 80-day obsession. I always look for like, you know, Shakeology stuff, 80-day obsession. But she's just into like outdoor running, fitness, hiking, that kind of stuff. She looked cool, so I sent her a message. And I basically went back to like, I saw that you were out camping with your girlfriends. So fun. Do you live in Northern California too? My husband and I just moved to the area. So truly not even about Beachbody, but I've started so many conversations with women, so many women that it'll never turn into Beachbody with a lot of them, which is totally fine. But I have met some really cool women that I could like maybe go hiking with. And eventually it might turn into something more with like from a Beachbody standpoint, but just truly building relationships with people. I know the thing that like Bonnie Engel does that she taught at New Leadership this year was finding people that look, again, cool. I keep saying that, but like look like you'd be friends with them, and going to their page and like liking some of their stuff and then reaching out and be like, hey, I love your style, or, you know, I see that you're an expecting mom too or something. And then she'd be like, are you a coach too? Have you ever heard that? I don't know. It's one of her trainings online, I'm sure if you look it up, but it's basically like blunt. Like, you look super cool. I like your style. Are you a Beachbody coach? Or no, are you a coach too? Not a Beachbody coach. Are you a coach too? And then a lot of people would like reach back out to her and be like, no, I'm not a coach. Like, a coach for what? And then she'd be like, bam, Beachbody coach. And invite them to her next coach sneak peek and like share the opportunity. So there's a lot of different ways to go about it. You know, there's like the whole, hey girl, I see that or I like what you're up to or something. You look like you're into outdoors, or you want a health and fitness journey too. I used to do that when I first started out. But everybody would message me back and they'd be like, yeah, aren't we all on a health and fitness journey? And I'd be like, oh crap. Okay. Well, you should do Beachbody. But basically my messages lately have been more surrounded around like getting to know people and just like in this area to kind of like build friends. And then a lot of those conversations do turn into like health and fitness, or they'll start following me and they'll be like, hey, I see that you're like doing these 20-minute workouts. What are they? And I'll be like, oh, it's actually the new program that's launching. Have you heard of Beachbody before? So a lot of times they do turn into that, but a lot of times they don't. So sorry, that was kind of a long runaround answer of how I find people, but mostly random people. And like, honestly, after being a coach for 2 years and like having like a bigger presence on Instagram and like being really consistent, I do have a lot of people that reach out to me to join me. Was not always that way though. Like, I had to do so many reach outs when I first started. I remember when I was pushing for Diamond, I was reaching out to like 35 to 50 people a day. So now I don't reach out to as many people, but I have started reaching out again because I'm asking all of my coaches to do that. And I only think it's fair that I'm doing that too. And it's been kind of fun. Kind of fun to like meet new people and kind of like do what I was doing before. So I hope that was helpful.
I love that. I feel like for me, kind of one of the biggest roadblocks in my journey has been getting so wrapped up in like the logistics of coaching, like rank advancement or, you know, this, that, and the other thing, that I kind of lost sight of that relational piece. And I think if we can just focus on the importance and the value that building those relationships and then cultivating those relationships play in our business, not only, you know, getting challengers, but working with new coaches and keeping them motivated. That was really kind of a game changer for me. And actually, I didn't even I wasn't even aware of kind of that place I was stuck at until the Success Club trip this year. And I was having some conversations, and even like the elite panel, I was like, oh my gosh, relationships. Like I'm losing kind of losing sight of that and shifting my focus elsewhere. So, okay, we have one more question and then we will wrap this up. I promise. Jumped in a little late. How do you fight against, tight budget or just out of college budget? So I'm guessing like maybe reaching out to like a younger crowd who, or I don't even think it necessarily needs to be like just out of college, but I guess it's the money objection, so to speak.
Yeah, I get money objections all the time. So when I first started, I would sign anybody up with anything. Like if you wanted to buy Energize, great, you can buy Energize. If you wanted to buy just the workouts, you can buy just the workouts. Now at this point in my business, if you want to sign up with me, you have to buy a challenge pack. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I personally know the benefits of the challenge pack. You get the workouts, you get the meal plan, you get the Shakeology, you get the coach, you get the community. Like $160, bam, such a good deal. So I get those objections all the time though, and I do lose people. They're like, I don't want to buy the challenge pack. I don't want to do Shakeology. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm sorry, I'm not the right coach for you. But I do get those money objections, and honestly, I just break it down for people. Like my husband spent, well, now we're at a new gym because we're not in Minnesota anymore, but if you guys know Lifetime Fitness, Zeke was a member at Lifetime Fitness, and we were paying $85 a month for him to be a member there. $85 a month, which is crazy, but he was using it every day, and they have a lot of like great amenities, you know, pool, hot tub, steam room, sauna, all that stuff. So he was using it every single day, so it was fine. It was worth it. But how many of you guys know people that have a gym membership and use it like 2 times? So I always push that back on people. I'm like, yeah, $160 up front might seem like a lot. But if you break it down, it's like $13 a month. And I always say, like, my husband is paying $85 a month for the gym membership. And that doesn't even come with any of the nutrition, any of the community, the support, the Shakeology, like none of that. So I always just kind of break it down to people in that sense. The whole bi-month thing, I think, kind of helps them like realize what a good deal it actually is. And then the whole like Shakeology objection, like, I don't want to pay $132, or if they're a discount coach, the $100. But then I just, again, break that down by the day, and it's like $4.12 or something a day. And I always tell them, like, when I was working at General Mills, I was spending at least $6 or $7 in the morning on breakfast down at like the cafeteria area. So for me to spend $4 a day on a shake that I know is getting like all of my nutrients in it, game on. Like I'll spend $4 all day. So I just kind of I break it down a lot for people. And if people are like, I don't really want to buy a challenge pack, I just want to buy on demand. I'm like, okay, well, on demand is $100 for the year. And for $60 more, you'll get a $132 bag of Shakeology. You get $15 portion control containers. You get access to my boot camps for a year, and you get me as a coach. Like $60, or I mean, it's just kind of like easier when you break it down for people and they can actually like see what they're getting. I get the whole out of college thing. Like I have a few coaches on my team that are out of college and they're like barely getting by. They're like, I really want this challenge pack, so I'm gonna buy it, but I don't really have a lot of money. And I'm like, you made a good investment. But I get the whole money thing. It is expensive, but when you really sit back and think about it, like $160 isn't really that expensive. And to be honest, I'm like so shocked that Beachbody kept that price that way. Like I was like praising God when they did that. I'm like, yes, everybody. I don't think anybody really budgets at $160, but when it was $200, people budget $200. Like $200 is a lot of money. $160 is a lot too, but for me, like I'll pay $160. $200, I kind of have to think about it. So, I mean, with the money objections, I truly just like break it down for people and let them know like what a great value it is that they're getting. I always toss out the 30-day money back guarantee because to me, this company is legit. If you are going to offer somebody a 30-day money back guarantee, you truly stand behind your products and we know how good they are. So toss that out there as well. And I think that's kind of eye-opening for people. Like, okay, I'll try it. And if I don't like it, I'll always send it back. I think I've had 2 people ever send it. Maybe 1 challenge pack. So they don't really use it a lot, but it's still a great thing to mention. So
I used to get so offended when somebody would tell me that a challenge pack was too expensive or Shakeology was too expensive. Like it was like my baby or something that I put the price on. And I'm like, no, it's not. You don't understand. But Yeah, I think all of those are really great. Another thing that if I can tell that they just like really want in, but they're struggling with the price, like bring 3 people with you and you'll make money back. Sign up as a coach, bring 3 people to the group. So that is all so super awesome. I have pages of notes. I'm so excited about this. I mean, I wanted to thank you again for taking time out of your evening to share all of that greatness with us. And we're so blessed to be able to have you here.
Yay. Thank you for having me. I hope it was really helpful, and go get them, ladies.
Thank you.
See you later.
Have a good night.
Thanks, you too. Bye-bye.